All I can tell y'all is that it's about to go down. All right.
Welcome to Southeastern, Minnesota's #1 podcast for high school sports. This is Tiger Nation and Beyond with your host, straight out of Stewartville, Adam Peterson.
Hey, what's up, Tiger Nation, and welcome into Tiger Nation and Beyond. This is season number 5, episode number 25, and we have hit a major milestone here on our podcast for Stewartville Sports. It is episode in total 150. Let's go! Hey, thanks everybody for tuning in. Whether you tune in from episode number 1 and run all 150 in a row like I have, well, I don't usually always tune into them, but I definitely record them. I've been there for all 150. Whether you've been here for all 150 or maybe you're tuning in for the last couple now that we're on YouTube, I want to say thank you so much for supporting not only the podcast, but more importantly, the Stewartville athletes, the student athletes, I'll call them, in the greatest high school west of the Mississippi River, Stewartville High School. Here we call it Tiger Nation. There's a ton of things I need to catch up on, and I know the last time I did a podcast with you, I said that I would package together a better PowerPoint. We'll start working on slides and things like that. Well, I've been super busy, haven't had enough time. Hopefully you'll hang in there with me, and I'm optimistic that I'll be able to improve here in the future. A lot of boys basketball, girls basketball, and even a couple wrestling meets I got to catch you up on, and that's where we'll start. We're going to start actually, and when I say start, we're going to break this up by sport. So boys basketball will go first, and then I think I had wrestling and girls basketball just to split up the basketballs. We'll put wrestling right in the middle. Let's go to boys basketball, right? 6 games to catch you up on. We have to go all the way back to, I think was it in December? Anyway, it was a showcase at Minnehaha Academy. Stewartville was coming in 7-3. We were taking on Columbia Heights 3-6. We were down 29-28, but then a huge second half by both teams. A lot of scoring. Stewartville would win it by 1. How does Coach Parker Liga not have gray hair with the close games that he's had this season? 70-69 was the final score. The win streak has moved to 6. Now, Henry Cheddar led the way, 16.7 rebounds. Tegan Malone had 14 points, 4 rebounds. He had a 3-pointer. Jason Schindler hit 2 threes on his way to 12 points and 8 rebounds. Parker Wangen, 10 points, 4 rebounds. Aiden Helder, 8 points, 2 rebounds. And Caleb Jansen, 6 points, 4 rebounds. That moves us to January 17th. Oh yeah, so that showcase must have been early January. I don't even know how far back I'm missing games. I bet that was like January, mid-January. Either way, we're now at January 17th. Boys basketball 8-3. We're on the road against the Cannon Falls Bombers 7-4. Stewartville was up 8 at halftime, 42-34. We won this one by 17. Final score 84-67. Win streak now at 7. Henry Cheddar again led the way, 18 points for him. Tegan Malone had 17 points, 3 3-pointers. Jason Schindler had 12 points, 2 of those from behind the arc. Parker Wangen had 8 points. Aiden Helder had 8 points. Max Barnes had 7 points. The senior hit 1 from behind the 3-point line. That moves us in. They had back-to-back games. They also had one on, I think it was Wednesday, January 18th. Boys basketball 9-3, taking on Pine Island, struggling a little bit this year, 2-10. It was a low-scoring first half. Pine Island actually was hanging with Stewartville relatively well if you think about those two records and the way the team's outlook, or probably what people thought was going to happen in this game. It was 22-15 at the half, but then Stewartville put their foot on the gas, outscored the Pine Island Panthers 40-17 in the second half for a final score of 62-32. That pushes that win streak to 8. Parker Wangen had 7 points, 3 rebounds. Henry Cheddar had 6 points, 2 rebounds. Tegan Malone, 13 points. I believe he led the way, 13 points, 4 rebounds. Jason Schindler had 8 points, 7 boards. Caleb Jansen had 9 points, 5 rebounds. Caleb Bancroft, 8 points, 2 rebounds. That takes us into the following week. Actually, it would be this week. I'm recording this on Sunday. Well, I guess it would be last week now that it's Sunday. January 24th, we were taking on Byron. Byron's been in some pretty close games. The Bears are always a big rival for us. Our boys coming in at 10-3. Byron just under the 500 mark at 7-8. Stewartville jumped out to a 21-point halftime lead and then coasted to a 39-point win over the Bears. Final score 77-36. The win streak moves to 9. Parker Wangen 12 points, 5 rebounds. Henry Cheddar had 18 points, 5 rebounds. That's Hank the Tank. 18 points, 5 rebounds. Jason Schindler, 14 points, 2 rebounds, but more importantly, 4 threes. I think all of them were in the first half. The sniper was deadly. Caleb Jansen had 7 points, six rebounds. How about this? Blake Turner, big night for him. 8 points for him as he got some action there in the second half. Then we move to a big game. Big game in Tiger Nation. Stewartville, only Tiger Nation, right? Boys basketball now 11-3 after a 9-game win streak that they've put forth. They were taking on a team on a 16-game win streak. A team that was ranked number 1 in the state, hadn't lost yet. 16-0 Lake City. We've already lost to them earlier in the year, but man, it was not a start that we needed. I think we started the game like down 16 or 17-0. It was a terrible initial run, so we were looking for redemption here. It was an incredible game. Incredible atmosphere, incredible game. It was a heavyweight fight. This is what we live for, our games like this. It reminds me of the Lake City Stewartville game for the HVL conference title. It was, I think, Will Cheddar's maybe junior year, Bodie Mayer's sophomore year. That was one of the most exciting games. This one, pretty solid if you ask me. It was 25-23 at the half. Stewartville, though, would put it together in the second half. Hand Lake City their first loss of the season. Let's go. Woo! Final score, 53-41. Win streak, double digits. 10 in a row for our Stewartville boys. Awesome to see. They're now 12-3. After starting out the season 2-3, we rattle off 10 in a row, and we're now 12-3. Parker Wangen, incredible, awesome defense for him. 9 points, 5 rebounds. Hank the Tank, he played fantastic this game. I thought he really stepped up for us in this big game. Henry Cheddar, 18 points, 8 rebounds. Brady Pickett had 4 points, a couple breakaway steals. Tegan Malone, 4.7 rebounds. Jason Schindler, 4.3 rebounds. Zippy, coming up huge. Caleb Jansen, 10 points, 5 rebounds. Aiden Helder, 2 points, 4 rebounds. Max Barnes, 2 points, 3 rebounds. A couple of thoughts on this game. First of all, incredible performance by the Stewartville boys to come out and really put a whole game together and compete with one of the best teams in the state, Lake City. I thought we looked fantastic. If we play like that, we can play probably with anybody. Love the defense, transition to offense. We held Lake City to only 41 points, so the defense definitely is what Coach Liga likes to hang his hat on. Ahead for our boys basketball team, they are at Goodhue on February 3rd. That's this week. Then a game versus Mounds View on February 4th, and then back home in Stewartville against Lourdes on February 7th. Next sport up is wrestling. Stewartville had the Stewartville Wrestling Invitational. It's called the Daryl Yeager Invitational. That was on January 14th. I'll run down our top place finishers in weight class. At 106, we had 2 guys placed in the top 5. Brolin Steer had a 4th place finish, and Logan Moyer had a 5th place finish. So 2 guys in the top 5 for one weight class. That's outstanding. At 113 pounds, Quade Mullenbach had a 4th place finish. At 120 pounds, Hunter Karnitz brings home the title, baby. First place for him. I believe he's like 20. At that point, he was like 24-1 or something on the season. Just an incredible year for Hunter Karnitz. At 126, Eli Shy had a 5th place finish. 132, Caden Hike brought home 6th place. 138, Jace DeYoung finished in 3rd. Tanner Elzen at 160 pounds made the championship match. He would take 2nd. At 170 pounds, Lincoln Doobie would place 4th, and that would round out our top finishers for the Stewartville Invitational. That was on January 14th. That moves us to January 20th. We had a quad against Goodhue, Cam, and La Crescent. I could only find the results against Goodhue. We had wins at 106 pounds. It was Brolin Steer. He got forfeit. Hunter Karnitz at 120 also got a forfeit. At 138, Jace DeYoung had a pin at 318, 16 points for him. 145, Lucas Larson won a decision 8-2, and then Tanner Elzen at 160 pounds had a major decision 10-6. Unfortunately, we would lose that match 51-25 based on team points. On January 21st, we had a tournament in Eastridge. This one had a ton of teams. I want to say like 22 teams or something like that. So if you finish in the top, top 5, top 7 of this tournament, doing pretty well. We had a couple guys do that. 120 pounds, Hunter Karnitz took 4th place. And then at 152, Tanner Elson took 3rd. As a team, we finished in 12th place with a score of 39.5. We had a dual meet against Byron Lourdes. I think they co-op. That was on January 26th. I do not have the results for that. So that's what I got for you on the wrestling front. Moving on. Girls basketball. Last sport we'll need to talk about here. Girls basketball. When you look at them, they lost to Mountain Iron Bowl in a big game to start the season. That was the first game of the season. Little hiccup against Byron early in December. But other than that, completely lights out. Lights out. I'm turning the light out. That's what I was doing there. They have won 10 of their last 11 games, including 8 games in a row. None of those games within 11 points. I'm going to take you back now. Now that they've won 10 of the last 11 games, 8 in a row, let me tell you where they're at now. We go back all the way to Friday, January 13th. It was at Pine Island. Pine Island, unfortunately, struggling this year. They are winless. This one was over well before halftime. It was 59-19 at the break. We coasted to a 92-28 win, which pushed the streak to 9 straight games of wins for the Tigers. 13 girls scored in this game. We shot 53% for the field. We were 43% from the three-point line. We had 21 assists. We forced 29 turnovers. We had 18 steals. Haley Strum hit the 20-point mark. She was 7 of 10 for the field. 20 points, 3 steals, 3 assists. Audrey Schindler, she was 5 of 9 from the field, 15 points for her. Keely Steele, 14 points on 5 of 7 shooting, 4 steals, 4 assists, 2 rebounds. Savannah Dean had 9. Avery Spencer had 7 points, 3 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Ella Theobald had 6 points, 4 rebounds, 2 blocks. Just complete domination. Those girls that I just mentioned probably only played the first half. And even that, they didn't play the whole first half. They were subbing in and out. That moves us to the next day, January 14th. Huge HVL TRC showdown rematch of last year. I think is it that one or is it Caledonia game? Anyway, we were at the Civic Center playing Austin. A rematch of last year's section final that we dropped. Austin coming in at 8-3, Stewartville 12-2. This one was in they call it the auditorium. The arena's the big one. The auditorium's the little bit smaller one, a little bit more condensed. The stands are a little bit more upright, but fun atmosphere nonetheless. It was clearly evident. I watched this game. Thank you, Scott Romans, for recording this one. Oh, no, he did the Caledonia game. I don't know who did the Austin game then. I wonder where I saw that. Anyway, it was clearly evident after one half who the better team was on the court. 45-18 at the half. Stewartville would win by 25. 75-50 over potentially between them and Red Wing, probably two of the best other teams in our section. We shot 47% from the floor. We had 14 steals, 18 assists. Haley Strum, 19 points on 9 of 13. Again, she scored 19 points. But really efficiently. She's been doing such a better job of that this year, trying not to force shots. She's got plenty of teammates getting the open look, taking it. Love that. 19 points on 9 of 13 shooting, 4 steals, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. Keely Steele, 13 points on 5 of 8 shooting, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals. Ella Theobald, dominating down low. Love to watch her back completely healthy. 13 points, 8 rebounds for her. You know, when we played Austin last year, she wasn't there. That was a new face that Austin probably wasn't too happy to see back on the court. Ella Theobald, 13-8. Savannah Dean had 8 points. Audrey Schindler, 9 points, 3 rebounds. JC Rath, she doesn't get... I know I talk about stats a lot, but she is so unselfish, and she does so many things for Stewartville, whether it be defense, whether it be moving the ball, rebounding, and probably our best rim defender in terms of blocking. Well, she did two of those things very well against Austin. 7 rebounds, 3 blocks. Beat Austin by 25. Very good feeling when we see them in the section playoffs later this year. Whether we see them or maybe Red Wing coming out, Byron, whoever, Cassie Manorville, all of those teams. It's good to get that confidence that we can play with these girls as well as we can beat them. That moves us to Tuesday, January 17th, Stewartville girls basketball 13-2 now, taking on Cannon Falls 2-9. We already beat them earlier this season. Stewartville was up 20 at the break, put this one away by about the 12-minute mark in the second half, ended up winning 79-37, 19 assists as a team, 7 of those by Haley Strum. I talked about that. She's not forcing shots. She's getting a lot of other players involved, and that's what you know about really good players is when you can make your teammates better, that makes you better, makes the team better. Love to see that. 7 assists by Haley Strum, 17 steals for our team. Keely Steele, incredible night for her. 17 points, 6 of 8 from the field, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, 3 steals. Not much that girl wasn't doing. I talked about Haley Strum and those 7 assists, which led the team. Also had 12 points and 5 steals. JC Rath, 10 points on 3 of 4 shooting, 2 of 2 from downtown, 2 rebounds, 2 steals. Audrey Schindler, she had 10 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. Savannah Dean, she had 9 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals. Ella Theobald only shot 3 times, made all 3 of them. 6 points for her. We shut her down early in the evening. 2 rebounds. Avery Spencer had 6 boards. That moves us into a big showdown against Caledonia. Again, trying to remember, is Austin part of the... No, Austin's part of the Big 9. So that means this one was the HVL TRC showdown, if I'm not mistaken, against Caledonia. Don't quote me on that. I didn't look it up. I just kind of have some scratch notes here. Stewartville, 14-2, going against Caledonia, 13-2. So Stewartville 14-2. Did I say that? I don't know if I read that wrong. Caledonia 13-2. Only losses for Caledonia against Lourdes and Goodhue. It was a 2-point game with 7 minutes left in the first half, but then a 14-7 run for Stewartville made it 44-35 at the half. Turned a 9-point halftime lead into a 22-point win. 81-59. Impressive fashion for the Lady Tigers in this one. When this category is high, I'm telling you, when this category I'm about to tell you is high, our girls never look better. Team assists. You heard me talk about them. They're always hovering around that 20 mark. Team assists. We had 20 in this game. Outstanding. Love to watch these girls share the ball, make that extra pass, get an even better look. We have so many girls that can score. Get it to the open shot. Whoever's got the highest percentage shot, let's take that. We out-rebounded Caledonia. Another statistic that I think was imperative for this game, for this win. 37-21, we out-rebounded the Warriors. Caledonia shot 43% from three-point land, but Stewartville was almost 50% from the floor, and they hit 7 3-pointers on their own. They, meaning our Lady Tigers. I don't want to say we because I don't feel like I'm out on the court. They, meaning Stewartville, hit 7 threes. We had 4 girls in double figures. Ella Theobald was fantastic this game. 15 points on 7 of 9 shooting, 5 rebounds for her. Keely Steele, 14 points, 5 of 10 from the field, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block. I thought Avery Spencer really played fantastic. You want to talk about like a coming out party or a really breakout game for her. We saw how valuable she is. 12 points on 6 of 9 shooting, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block. Instrumental in winning this game. Audrey Schindler was 4 of 8 from the field for 12 points, 5 steals. Haley Strum, 8 points, 5 steals, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, showed that she can have such an impact on the game. Even when she doesn't put up those 15, 20 points, she's getting it to her teammates. Had 5 steals on defense. She's incredible. 5 rebounds. JC Rath, 6 points, 10 boards, led the team, 3 assists, 2 blocks. Hannah Martinson. I know I don't give Hannah Martinson a lot as much credit as she deserves. Defensive stopper, right? Out there hustling. She's always the first one to give the ball up on a fast break, get it to her scorers. She had 5 points. She hit a big 3. I think that's, at times, we're going to need that. She had 5 points, hit a big 3. When other teams look at this, I think they have to account for her. She can shoot. She can score. We can't lay off her that much. Gotta watch out for old Hannah Martinson. I think she's 30 on the team. I was going to say old number 30, but I don't want to get the number wrong. 3 rebounds, 2 assists for Martinson. Savannah Hedin had 6 points, 4 assists. Then we move on to Thursday, January 26th. Stewartville 15-2 at Lake City 6-11. This one got out of hand early. I think it was 42-10 halfway through the first half. 62-21 at the break. We shut all the starters down. It was all Stewartville. We took our foot off the gas, essentially coasted. 83-47 final. 52% from the floor is what we shot. 42% from three-point land. Rebounds 43-27 in favor of Our Lady. 16 team assists, 20 steals. That's incredible. Their defense turns the ball over, turns it into offense. Love that. 12 Tigers scored on the night. 3 girls in double figures. Haley Strum, 16 points on 7 of 14 shooting, 6 steals, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Savannah Dean had 10 points on 4 of 7 from the field, 2 steals. Avery Spencer, another solid game for her. 10 points, 7 rebounds. Keely Steele, 9 points, 4 of 6 from the field, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 steals. Ella Theobald only shot 3 times, made 2 of those for 8 points, 4 rebounds. Audrey Schindler, 3 of 3 from the field for 7 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. That moves us into the final game I'm going to talk to you about. Stewartville against Red Wing. I really think Red Wing is one of the toughest matchups that we'll see possibly again. Stewartville 16-2. Red Wing 12-2. We jumped out to an 11-2 lead. Red Wing could shoot though. They could shoot the 3. They got it back to, I think it was 19-15 Stewartville, but then Tigers ran off the rest of the first half. It was 40-23 at the break. I don't think it ever got closer than 11 in the second half. Lady Tigers would win this one 68-52. We shot 44% for the field. Red Wing hit 9 threes. I talked about how they could shoot. They hit 9 threes to our 5, but really where the difference came in was Red Wing was 1 of 11 from the free throw line. So our girls playing great defense, hitting the shots they need to, but 1 of 11. Oh, that's got to be tough to see. Yeah, tough. Stewartville was 15 of 23 from the free throw line. I think that's mid 60%, maybe somewhere in there. Don't check my math. Rebounding, also the difference. Stewartville 40, Red Wing 25. 12 of those were offensive rebounds. 4 by Theobald, 3 by Keely Steele. So if you can keep that possession alive, get us an extra one. That is so clutch, especially against teams as good as Red Wing. Okay, I sent the tweet out. Big players make big plays in big games. Haley Strum. Come get you some Haley Strum! Let's go. I'm so pumped up about this performance. 8 of 12 from the field, 2 of 4 from three-point land. She had 23 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. She was incredible. It was like when we needed a bucket, she made it happen. Also, I could have sent out another tweet. There was another girl that played gigantic in this game. Her name is JC Rath. Incredible. 14 points on 6 of 9 shooting, 12 rebounds, 4 blocks. Listen to that again. I need to say that again. 14 points, 12 rebounds, 4 blocks for a freshman. The freshman, JC Rath. She doesn't get the credit she deserves. I was talking about Hannah Martinson, maybe Avery Spencer. JC Rath, for what she does, this game showed she is special. Audrey Schindler, she had 9 points, 3 of 5 shooting, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, and she was imperative in this game. I thought she played outstanding, especially in that first half. Keeley Steele got in a little bit of foul trouble, so we needed a few more minutes out of Audrey, and I thought she did fantastic. Savannah Dean, she had 6 points on 2 of 4 from the field, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Taylor Clement led the team with 3 steals. Keeley Steele, 7 rebounds. You heard me say 3 of those were offensive. Ella Theobald, 6 rebounds. 4 of those offensive is what I have in the stat column. That's 14 wins in a row. Are you kidding me? 14 wins in a row, 17-2 overall. I couldn't be happier. Boys basketball team's playing outstanding. Girls basketball team is playing outstanding. I mean, I haven't had to deal with a loss in weeks, maybe a month or more. Incredible. Before I talk about the girls here, coming up for the girls, Tuesday, January 31st, it's against Cass Manorville at home. I believe that's like parents or family night. Thursday, February 2nd, also at home against Goodhue. That's going to be a big test. Elizabeth Gadian, I believe, is approaching her 1,000th career point. And they got Tori Miller. It's Goodhue is always a tough squad. Tuesday, February 7th, we're at Rochester Lourdes. Tough stretch of 3 games, 2 at home. But like I said, that Goodhue game, I think that's going to be a barn burner. Another one that you got to watch out for. Let's talk about this girls team. This is there's 2 things I want to end this podcast with. 3 things. Number 1, girls team. With all due respect, I sent this tweet out as well, but I feel like I need to explain myself. With all due respect to those special teams that have come before them. Teams I think of 2017, 2018, I believe that was the year. They went 24-6, made it to the section final where we lost to Byron. Great team there. 2020, 2021 team that ran the table, went undefeated. I think they were 19-0. They had a 19-game win streak to start the season. Ran the regular season, I think it was 18-0. Then they won their first game in playoffs. But anyway, that was like the Maya Peterson, the Stecker sisters, Haley Lewis, that squad. With all due respect to all those teams, and even last year's team, which was pretty darn good, if you have to say, they made it to the section final where we lost Austin. I am thoroughly convinced, boys or girls, this is the best all-around team that I've seen for basketball in Stewartville. Best all-around team. Think about this, okay? So you could try to throw the undefeated squad, right? You had like Maya Peterson, you had the 2 Stecker sisters, and I believe Haley and Keeley were on that team. Well, Haley and Keeley are better now than they were then, and they were pretty good then. So let's cancel them out. You got the Stecker sisters. Jolie Stecker may have been one of my favorite players to watch because she was so unselfish. She worked so hard for rebounds, and she was an incredible defender. Raina Stecker could shoot. She was a shot blocker and stuff. So 2 bigs, kind of that 5'11", 6 foot tall. Ella Theobald, JC Rath. And they're only freshmen. Maya Peterson. Pretty good, right? Brings the leadership, the intangibles. Well, we haven't even talked about Audrey Schindler, Savannah Dean, Avery Spencer, Taylor Clement. I mean, like the list goes on and on of the depth this team has, and they all have such a special role. This team is probably the best team I've seen. And I was reserving that feedback until I saw what they did against Red Wing. One of my concerns always is, especially going into the postseason, when we lose to teams like Lourdes or we lose to teams like Austin, is we create a lot of chaos on defense, right? We try to turn the ball over, get them to turn the ball over, turn defense into offense. What I saw against Red Wing, because Red Wing can break the press, right? Like they could break our pressure. Sometimes we'll get it, sometimes we won't. We were able to play the game I was looking for a long time, all right? I see the run and guns and just out, I don't know if this is a word, but out athleticism the other team. Yeah, it's not a word. I couldn't even say it. But showing off our athleticism, our speed, our tenacity, our effort. Yeah, absolutely. Love it. But we played like a skillful basketball game against Red Wing. We played offensive sets. We came back in man defense, run zones, sometimes switch it up to pressure. Being able to switch up those defenses, I think, is so crucial, especially once you go against better teams. The other thing is we have to be able to move the ball. We have to be able to set screens. We have to be able to read the defense off those screens. Stewartville showed me, the girls showed me on Saturday. I knew they were good. I knew they were going to be fantastic. But when you go against better teams, that's what I wanted to see was the game against Red Wing. So, hey, hats off to Coach Liffrig and his staff for putting that together. That gives me a lot of optimism on what this team could accomplish if they stick together, that they keep that team approach. Nobody gets too selfish. Nobody fires up the shots. Get it to the open person. Play team defense. Pick each other up. Fantastic. Haley Strum stepped up in a big game. Love to see that. JC Rath. If JC Rath is listening, I would say we have all the confidence in the world in you to continue to have games like that. I don't care if you miss a shot here or you miss a rebound or you get a foul. Don't worry about it. We don't worry about it. You shouldn't worry about it. So keep doing what you're doing. Audrey Schindler, Savannah Dean, Taylor Clement, Keely Steele. How fabulous has she been? Avery Spencer, Ella Theobald. The list goes on. Incredible depth on this team, and they're all so skilled. And I couldn't be happier with what I saw against Red Wing. So great job, team. Second, out of the last three things I want to go over. College commits. Gotta give a hats off. Do you see it here? PB Cafe. I don't know if I turn around. It says pancakes served daily. Old Peyton Byrne makes his commitment. He's going to Winona State next year. How big of a steal is that from Winona State? I don't know if they got him on the offensive side or defensive side, but if it was me, I'd put him at offensive tackle. The kid is just tenacious. Peyton Byrne going to Winona State. Also, Colton Parker, reckless abandon, right? Going to UW Stout. I don't know if I covered that in one of my previous podcasts, but since I was on the topic for college commits, I did want to say congrats to those two guys. So that's what we got here. Season number 5, episode number 25, episode number 150 overall. Every time that we have these milestone episodes, I always try to reflect back. What a great 5 years it's been. 8 years since calling the broadcast. I think Twitter, we've been on 6 or 7 years doing the videos. Now 5 years doing the podcast, 150 episodes. I want to say something like 40,000 downloads. So can't thank you all enough. I would say that this journey, it's always a roller coaster. It always seems to be a roller coaster. There's highs, there's lows. Some things that have made it special though. Tuesdays with Muller, I think everybody appreciates that. I appreciate the time that he offers. Head football coach Garrett Muller. Our new courtside series where we got Ryan Liffrig and Parker Liga on. I always love talking to the athletes. I haven't done it for a while. I'm really probably need to bring that back and see what athletes might be interested. But speaking to some of my favorite athletes, Aaron Lamb, a huge Aaron Lamb fan. Love to see the success she's having at Kentucky. And I talked about it before. Aaron Lamb is probably, besides anybody with the last name of Lamb, I'm probably one of the biggest Aaron Lamb fans in Stewartville. And it's because still, like, she was appreciative when she was in Stewartville. She would come up and talk to the girls. She would come up and talk to me. But even now, after she's committed to college and she's this big star at Kentucky, she still goes out of her way to say hello, how you doing, ask how the girls are. I saw her at a basketball tournament last month. Still that sweet girl. And so I love to cheer for team players like that. I'll say that because there's other players, and when I talk about roller coaster, there's also downsides, right? So there's been players that were, really appreciative and everything like that. Parents that have been really appreciative when I talk about their kids. But as soon as their kids graduate, it's like nowhere to be found. You walk past them, they might not say anything. So that sometimes is a little bit of a struggle, but I try not to worry about it too much. I will say that I've gotten, great emails, positive, encouraging emails that help me to continue on doing this podcast. I've also gotten emails chewing me out, telling me, which athletes I should support or which athletes I shouldn't support. And, something about my Twitter or something I said on the podcast. I've gotten chewed out by, varsity sports coaches, just trying to help their program. And so that's okay. That's one of the things I just step back from. If they don't want this, they don't want the coverage, they don't want the help, that's no problem. I'll just, follow the teams that maybe do want it or do appreciate it. So thanks to all the, Garrett Muller that puts his time in. I know Coach Lifford and Todd Lechtenberg send the stats to me. That helps me cover the girls basketball team so well. Just all the teams that really help me out and continue to be appreciative, or at least want me to help them along. I will say, kind of to saying that, two things. One, with families talking about, oh, you should support this. You shouldn't, push this guy on your Twitter. I'll tell you one thing you should probably know about me, and I think it's probably a good reminder for everybody in life. I really only judge other families in Stewartville and other athletes, other students, teachers, whatever, basically on how they treat me and how they treat my family. So if family A has a problem with family B, but family B is nice to me, my wife, the two girls, I don't have a problem with family B. I don't care how close I am with family A. So that's been an adjustment. There's some clicks here and there and people saying, negative things. That's not me. That's not something that I'm going to do. Now, if you treat me the way that, in a different way, yeah, then I'll probably step back and say, all right, well, I'll just focus on the people that do have positive interactions with, and those are the ones I'll kind of cling to. The second thing is with the Twitter account. I know it's not an official Stewartville Twitter account. It's not based off the school. It's not anything like that. And some people have, do I not promote certain things enough? Do I not, talk about certain athletes? And again, it comes back to I promote the athletes that I cheer for, right? If they're great kids, I try to promote the teams as best I can. And I try to promote the athletes that I'm a fan of. And I try not to promote or retweet and like every single post, because I feel like that waters it down sometimes. I want people to know that if I take the time to send out a tweet or to retweet something or quote a tweet, that it has some emphasis behind it, that it's not like, well, he retweets everything. Like, of course, like he's going to say that. There are times I don't. There are times that I don't comment on stuff, and some philosophies that I have that maybe others don't. I have a philosophy that I don't want to sit there and put a lot of my own kids' stuff on my own social media. The reason being is that, everybody talks about, oh, I'm so proud of so-and-so. That's fine. You can do you, but when I'm proud of my girls, I'll just tell them. I don't need to put it out on social media. It's just the way that I run. The second thing that I generally will not do, I probably will not do, is I will not promote or retweet Twitter accounts or social media accounts that are essentially, they're self-promoting their kids, or their kid is promoting themselves when they're not even in middle school yet. Like, I think that's a huge problem. And so if you don't see me retweeting or liking or any of that stuff, because I think it's ridiculous for kids in grade school to have social media and trying to promote. You know how many good 10U and 12U players I played with growing up, and some that never made it to high school? Now, great. If those players make it to high school and do awesome on varsity, absolutely, I'll cheer for you. But for people to be putting up, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade highlights and things like that, that's not me. I'm probably not going to push it. So if you guys want to, there's people that now are pushing to create these accounts and retweet absolutely everything. That's fine. But understand that it doesn't come with anything other than just pushing a button and sharing and commenting and trying to do that. I hope that you've seen over the last how many years of following me that when I say something, hopefully it carries a little bit of weight and it's how I feel. If you agree or disagree with it, that's okay. I've been told both ways. But the nice thing is I get to do it my way. And that's the way that Coach Razzle rolls. So that's when I look back on these 150 episodes, some highs, some lows, some people that appreciate it, some people that don't. That's okay. But I'm here for the student athletes, and I hope you've seen that. I try to shine a big old spotlight on the amazing kids that we have here, the ones that do sacrifice so much to represent our school. And I appreciate what they do, and I love watching them play. I love bringing you these as much as I can. We're on 150 episodes. Who knows how many more we got left, but I'm happy to make it this far, and it wouldn't be, I wouldn't have gotten this far without a lot of the support from all of you out there. So all the coaches, the athletes, the parents, the fans, the families, everybody that has supported this podcast, has supported the Twitter video, supported me through that positive approach that I try to encourage. I want to say thank you. Super appreciative for all of that. Very grateful and very humbled. Love talking to you at games. Love all the people that, maybe come up and say hello or whatever. Love that. And that's all the payment I need for putting in all the time, the extra time and stuff that we do with this podcast. That's what I got for my wrap up for 150 episodes and kind of my outlook. hopefully we'll get, 50 more. Maybe we can hit that 200 mark and we'll have another talk. Maybe we'll bring on some celebrity or something. Who knows? But for everybody out there that's listened, whether it's from episode 1 or this is your first podcast, thank you so much for tuning in to Tiger Nation and Beyond. This is season number 5 and episode number 25. 150 overall is now in the books. Remember, until next... Almost screwed up my last line. We've done 150 of these, and I usually say the same thing every time, and I almost screwed it up there. What do I say? You say it with me. Until next time, remember that you're never wrong to do the right thing. Take care, Tiger Nation.